But your title, it is going to be writing expressions. That's it. Just writing expressions. I'm not going to be putting it on board because I've decided the best way to do this is I'm just going to have you guys write a lot of expressions. So I'm going to show a worksheet. It's not a worksheet for a grade. It is all for your notes, and we're going to walk step by step through it on how to write them. As soon as you put it out. I don't have one though. If you needed an essential question, you can ask something such as, why is it important to know how to write equations? So for an essential question, you can put, why is it important to know how to write equations? Okay? And then we have, excuse me. We do not have any vocab. So, I got the wrong thing. Why is it important to know how to write equations? Sorry guys, that's the wrong thing. Let me grab the other one real quick. Here's running slow. Alright, so we're going to be working with these problems right here. Now, what we are going to be doing is read. Can you guys read those from back there?
Yeah.
See what they say?
Yeah.
What does number 1 say?
11 less than 500 over 24.
What language did you just read that in?
English.
You guys read it in English, right? That's not math yet. That is English. It is using English words. It is written in an English sentence. That is all written in English. But I've talked to you guys before about math is its own language. We need to translate that English sentence to a math equation or a math sentence. Let me get my thing over there. So if we're going to translate this to a math equation, what do you think we're going to have to do? Oh, shoot, that's not going to work.
11.
Huh?
11 less than 5 times.
11 less than 5 times the number is 24. What do we know is definitely going to stay?
11.
We know 11, we know 5, and we know 24.
Yes.
But we have a bunch of words in between, right?
Yes.
Most of these are called clue words. So we got to figure out what these clue words mean. Let's take it one at a time, and you probably can figure this out. What does less mean?
Minus.
Less means to subtract. But then we have this word than. Than is very, very important to know because than means exactly what Alexa said, and you flip it. If you look back there, underneath that bright yellow poster, there's one that says clue words. On the right-hand side where it says answer and equal, and down below it says reverse the order. The first word on reverse the order is than, which means the 5 goes up, the 11 goes back. But we're not done, so let's finish this before we reverse that. What does times mean? Times means to multiply. Multiply by what? Omen. You need to come sit right up here so I know you're focused. Let's go. I'm sorry, again, guys, what does that number mean? Why a variable? We don't know what the number is. What variable do you guys want to use?
N.
Why an n?
Oh, no, X. X.
Does it matter if it's N or X?
No.
No. I really don't care as long as you guys can explain. I put N because N stands for number. Now here's another important one that we should all know. You hear it all the time in math, but you never think about it. Is.
Equal.
Is means equals. So what's the last thing you have to do to actually fully write this correctly? You have to flip. You know I said the 5 comes to the front, the 11 goes to the back? It's not just the 5 though. 5n has to move. So this is 5n subtract 11 equals 24.
Mm.
11 less than 5 times a number is 24. And I know you guys can do what's next. Solve that.
N equals 6.
Show me the steps. Solve it. That's not 6. Yeah, solve it. On the teacher page, solve it.
We need to check.
What do you think?
No.
What? I will not argue.
A river.
Okay, I'm going to have you need to start going down. Not because you're wrong, but this is going to get really confusing and really hard to follow when you have like 5n minus 11 equals 7n plus 32. It's going to be very hard to follow unless you start working down.
Equals 7.
That sounds better. Not too good. All right.
Oh, I have to 6. But I have 6.
Sorry, Dan.
I don't care. Omen. It doesn't matter when you're leaving, you still have to take notes. All right, read number 2.
I got it.
All right, so number 2. What does it say?
A number and a negative 9 increased by 10.3 is 11.3.
So what do we know is going to say?
Negative 9
All right, so let's look at clue words. What does quotient mean? So we know we're going to do division. What else do we know?
Increase.
What does a number mean?
and a variable.
A variable. Okay, we'll put X.
Increase.
What does increase mean? Anything else?
Is
What does this mean?
equal.
Anything else? Why'd you say what, Alexis? Does that make any sense? Divide X negative 9 plus 10.3 equals 11.3.
No.
Okay. Here's the thing. When it says the quotient of, if there's no number in front, the quotient of takes the place of this and. So what goes in between this X and negative 9?
Division.
The division. There are several different ways you guys can show this. So you can have X divided by negative 9 plus 10.3 equals 11.3. Or x over negative 9 plus 10 and 3 tenths equals 11 and 3 tenths. Can you guys solve that one?
Of course.
Try it.
Of course
No,
not.
never mind. That one's too hard.
When are they calling us down? I'm getting bored and bored. Yeah, the Mexican border, border.
Are you nervous, woman?
No.
Why? Are you
You
nervous,
will get
Alexis?
these people.
Yeah, it's scary. Are you nervous? No.
My
Eyes are. Oh, please, they don't. I told them though.
they're coming. You like dare
Where's Sam, the toucan?
Toucan Sam. Toucan Sam.
Hey, someone else be toucan Sam again.
Guys, when did the X
It doesn't buy him this year.
Oh, you watched the one. Because like 10.3 would be minus 10.3. 11.3.
Before we watch it.
Am I right or am I wrong? Illuminati is confirmed.
So I
Illuminati.
confused and I don't know what to do.
We're leaving. I think we're leaving at 2:40 because we're not leaving after 3.
Oh,
You might understand.
No, it's fast.
No, it would be negative 9.
correct.
Yes.
That would be minus 10. That took us almost an hour to do. No, first day of film, then
Where do I record?
Where did my samurai go? She has abandoned.
What?
Your recording has left the match.
What? What do you mean by you?
Alright, how'd you guys do? Oh, man, I don't know that. You're up and wandering around. Well, you're also up and wandering around not paying attention. Of course you're not going to get it. What part don't you get?
Miss, I got this one. All of it.
You can't even solve a two-step equation. The work we did yesterday.
That's tough.
Oh. Yeah.
You can't take this part over here on the right-hand side and solve it. Can you just solve that?
Is that a fraction or is that division?
What does it look like?
A fraction?
Why?
Because there's 2 numbers.
There's not 2 numbers. There's a variable and a number. Why would it be division?
It's both.
I heard
It's both. You can solve it with a fraction or a division. Which one can you solve it with? Can you solve this as a fraction or as a division?
How do you divide with negatives? Oh, I forgot.
Bruh.
Okay, guys, we're going to help them out. Let's walk through it. What's the first thing you do?
River.
Why do we draw the river?
Because it's easier.
Know how to separate.
So we can separate left and right. What's the first question I'm going to ask you guys?
Oh my! I know it now.
Where's the variable?
Left.
On the left-hand side. So what side are we going to look at?
Left.
The left-hand side. What's the next question?
Which number does what
Good job. What operation do you see?
Division.
Addition and?
Division.
Addition and division, but this is a two-step. So are we following PIMDAS or SADMET?
SADMET.
Why are we following SADMET?
Because
There's a variable.
Because there's a variable, you go PIMDAS backwards, which makes it SADMET. So which one are we looking at first? The division or the addition?
Addition.
The addition. What's the inverse?
Subtraction.
Subtraction.
So we are going to subtract what number?
10.3.
Both sides.
So is it? It's 1. Then no, the x would be negative 9.
Because this cancels out. What's the only thing remaining on the left-hand side?
X
X over negative 9.
But that's not over negative 9. I like what Alexa said better.
What do you say?
What'd you say?
X divided by negative 9.
X divided by negative
So
9.
I'm guessing x is negative 9. No.
Why?
You are smart.
Because all you need is a 1 to equal
So,
equal, right? And it negative 9 divided by negative 9 is 1.
so I go back to, well, now I have one more question to ask you guys. Is the variable by itself?
No.
No, it's not by itself. It has division and a negative 9. So we go back to question number 2. What operation do you see?
Division.
Division. What is the inverse? So we are going to multiply by what number?
9.
It's inverse.
9?
Negative 9.
Negative 9. Multiply by negative 9. Don't put the x in this. It will cancel out and it'll really throw you off. Just by the negative 9. This cancels out. What's remaining?
Negative 9.
What's remaining on the left-hand side?
X.
X equals, what's 1 times negative 9?
Negative 9.
So, Omen, you can solve stuff like that. I've seen you solve stuff like that. You can do it now. If you got x equals 9 over 1x, that's because you came up here and you said negative 9 over x.
But wait,
But if you do that, that completely cancels out your x's
Yeah.
and you have 1
you have to have that
equals negative 9 over x.
You have to have that one. You did it wrong. You have to have that 9 automatically every time.
Yes, that's how you get rid of it. That's how you get the variable by itself. So let's back up.
But could you just do negative 9 divided by negative 9?
Well, that's your check, hun. I'm going to back us up.
Oh.
The boys back here said they did negative 9 over x, and somebody else had said to do that. If you put this over an x, your x's cancel out. That leaves you with just 1. You have removed the x from the left-hand side. And when you multiply, it's 1 times negative 9 times, and 1 times x, negative 9 over x. Is the variable by itself?
No.
No, all you did was switch sides. So if we back up
What do you mean?
to where we have this x divided by negative 9 and this 1. The division inverse is multiplication. The number is negative 9. I have never asked you for the variable. I have always asked you what number. The number is negative 9. Multiply on both sides. X equals negative 9. Any questions on that?
No.
Look at number 3. I want you guys to try writing this on your own.
What?
We write what?
Number 3. Translate 5 less than the product of negative 3 and a number is negative 2.
5 minus.
I'm confused.
The product.
If you're confused, write down that sentence exactly how it is.
Okay.
Write down that, guys, if you are not writing down the sentence in the English words that are showing, it's going to be very hard for you to understand any of these notes because you have no clue where these problems came from. So next week, Eric, here's what I'll do. Next week, I'll have you look back at your notes to these notes exactly right here, and I'll ask you, what is the sentence that made you write that? Sorry, I'm calling you Eric. You're Anthony. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know why I'm slipping up on names lately. So Anthony.
You started calling me Peyton, so I'm okay.
Oh yeah. It's going to be cold out soon anyway.
Yeah, but when I get called out, I don't want to do extra.
It's not like you have to get on the bus today.
Well, I have to get on the rest of my.
No, we have to get out that as soon as we don't actually rest until like. What time do we start? Like 2:30, right?
No.
I don't know. Where's yours?
Why would we get like an hour?
6? Right.
I did.
Okay, now make that into an equation.
No.
I don't know. I don't know.
Again, I still do not know how.
Again, Omen, what numbers are there?
5 is the product of 3.
Okay. Let's check this out. What numbers are there, guys? 5. Anything else?
Variable.
Where is the variable? A number. I don't care which variable you use. Can you get that much? Because you're not writing anything.
Okay. 5 negative.
What does the word less mean? Subtract. What does the word then mean? Reverse, which means whatever's in the back comes forward. Whatever in the front goes to the back.
So
What's the next keyword? Product. What does product mean? Product means equal. Hey, boys. What does product mean? Multiplication. So what do we have to flip?
So
Wait, the -3 because the x goes for and.
So the product is also getting placed where? The and. Good catch. 3 and x means 3 times x because it said the product of them. So we have 3
-2
times x. Thank you. -3 times x. Subtract 5. What keyword did we miss? What does is mean? Is means equals. Equals -2. Solve that equation.
how did you even? I didn't. I can do it.
Okay. Look.
So
First word in here says what?
5
What's the next word?
plus.
What's the next word?
You want me to put negative?
No, it says less and then it says then, right?
Then
When you hit then, watch. That means the 5 has to come to the back. Whatever we're going to end up writing right here has to come up. Does that
So I
part make
did it right?
sense? Mm-hmm. Does that part make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, the product. What does product mean?
Multiply.
Multiplication of what?
-3
So it means -3 times what?
x.
Why x?
Because that's a number.
Okay, what's after that?
8 -2.
So it's 5 minus -3 times x equals -2.
So wouldn't you have to put the 5 to a -5 and make it Missile Mario? Wouldn't you turn this into a -5?
Nope. What operation is this?
Subtracting
What's the inverse?
5.
What's
Subtracting,
the inverse of subtraction?
adding.
No. Not there. That's why I keep moving my finger.
Where? Where do I say? I need help. Where?
What number? Where's the variable? What operation is it? Yeah. Which one did we do first? What's the inverse?
Oh, yeah?
Add 5 both sides.
Is that right?
No. What is the opposite of subtracting 5?
What?
So add 5. Just add 5. Add it to both sides. No, it is not 0.
That would make it 10.
Where's your variable? Bring it down.
That'd make it 10.
Really? Negative 5 plus 5 is 10?
Mm.
Oh. Where's your variable? What operation do you see? What's the inverse? There you go. Where's your variable? What operation is there? What's the
Why
inverse?
don't I just division?
So show it.
Do I divide negative 2 or divide 3?
You divide both of them by what?
3,
What's with the variable?
x,
What number is with the variable?
1.
Look at it. What number is right beside the variable?
Nothing.
That's not a number,
Negative 3.
so divide by a negative 3. Except for since that was a negative, divide by a negative.
What would that make this?
You gotta divide by a negative 3 on both sides.
How do I negative 2?
Alright guys, you draw your river, what do you do?
Which one's
Which side's the variable?
1 plus 5.
Where's the variable?
Left side.
What operation?
Subtraction and multiplication.
Which one should we look at first?
Subtraction.
Subtraction, what's the inverse?
Plus 5.
What are we gonna add?
Plus 5.
What does a negative 5 and a positive 5 make? 0. So we have a negative 3x, because 3 times x is 3x. Equals, what's negative 2 plus 5?
3.
Just 3. Where's your variable?
Left side.
What operation?
Multiplication.
What is the inverse?
Division.
Divide by what? Omen, this is why you don't understand. You have to focus.
Negative 3.
You have to divide by that negative, otherwise there will still be a negative x. You don't want negative x. So what do we divide the right side by?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. What you do on the left, you must do on the
I
right.
did.
What's negative 3 divided by negative 3?
1.
Just x.
Oh,
What's a 3 divided by a negative 3?
Negative 1.
wow.
Okay, try number 4.
Yeah, me too. I didn't get the negative.
Try number 4.
Also, x is negative 1.
Yes.
Alright, and then number 4. Then we will switch it up, right? What's the number? 15 is more than twice.
I think we leave in 2 minutes, guys.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to talk to coaches about when you're allowed to leave if you're distracted by that.
Sorry.
I asked you to solve a problem. Please do it.
Can you come help me? Put it
You're also
in.
on video, so they all know.
Can you come help me?
Can you come back here? Well, no, I want you up there. I'll come up in 2 minutes.
Ah.
We're gonna be on YouTube.
Say hi to the fans.
You told me to say no. I just want to hide. What's a number? How hard is it? How many?
have twice a number. It's a mystery to be solved. What?
Do we have to solve it?
Ooh, but you're missing something. What is twice? How many times? Yeah, there you go.
Sarah did the fancy maps.
Write the words down. I want you to write that sentence down. Exactly how it is.
Do it again.
Wait, we have one today? Because that's from changing them. And thank you for writing that. It's much easier for me to follow and figure out.
What?
Yeah. That's all. That's all. Yep. Because it says that word then. Now I gotta do math. Come on. Okay. Good. Good. I think, because that 9 was like 4. What's the word? Ignore adding what we have to add on, just like same time for the end. What? Here.
I'm ready, miss.
So otherwise, Tony, if it was just in blue right there, you would have been fine. Except for the negative.
Oh, I yeah.
Wait, we have four, okay? Yeah.
I don't understand what you said.
What don't you understand?
got to
What don't you understand, Mr.
I know that. I think I'm going to.
15 more than 15 can start before the more than 3. Then, so write it out first and then switch it. That's what's confusing you right now.
Why is this
All
buff
right,
that?
everyone who got the correct answer, guess what I'm going to tell you to do? Next problem.
Oh,
I got it wrong, so I can
I
do my
still need
homework
some
now.
help.
X plus 2x. You got it written down? All right, so let's go one at a time. Write that in
15,
math.
obviously 15.
Okay. What does that mean?
June?
Add, subtract, multiply, divide, equals?
of a number and 4.
What's that? What does then mean? Every single time we've seen the word then, what have we done?
No, of a number and 4.
Nothing?
The difference between 1
Oh, switch. You switch it around.
So we're going to say that to the last. What?
Wait, is it included?
I want you to solve number 5. If you guys get number 5 correct,
Twice
you
the
can do
number.
homework.
Difference between 1/5 of
Twice?
What's twice?
2. 2
2 what?
times.
So put 2 times. Times.
What's between them?
The difference between, what does difference between mean? Subtract. And difference between, it wants the distance between those two numbers. So if you just subtract them, you get them. Okay, but what does then mean? What does then mean?
You have to switch them.
So now you write it.
Miss, how do I define fractions? Like, you just, it will just be complex. Like, divided by one. Oh, okay, I get it.
And then so, how do you become a negative?
How did it become a negative 3 is what I want. There we go. All right, let's solve. Let's solve.
So you subtract. So we subtract 15 from both, right?
The difference between what?
You did something else.
Missed all mine.
Okay, so solve.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It's wrong. I know.
So, oh yeah, I forgot about one.
All is equal.
Hey, Alexis, come here.
1.
What is 1/5 of 100?
120.
What is 20 minus 4? So does that check out? Make me check my head.
Ah, wait. You have to check on it.
By 1/5.
38.
Miss, how do we mess up?
Because when you divided, you did not reciprocal the fraction.
That's wrong. Oh.
Can I
You
do?
guys decided to make it a complex fraction, which is fine, except for that meant you just divided by 20. But when you have a complex, you have to flip it over to multiply. I do not let you divide fractions.
Why not?
I almost had it, but I'm.
I want you to do the last step. So. Yep.
I already know what x is.
Solve it. Show me.
1x equals 19. So 2x equals
19 is incorrect.
19 isn't?
I see.
It's incorrect.
We're gonna go this.
You also need to fix that.
I understand. Yeah, 1x would be
I
nice.
hit like the whole button.
No, you have to
Do we do the next one?
Oh, you missed your variable.
Yep. Go. Yeah, what are we doing? We are what's our homework? We're being weird.
I wish I was
What's this operation?
It's called physics.
Add, that's the only way you can do it. You can add here. If you add and then do this step, you'll get the right answer.
I get juggle one ball. Wait, is the homework on the website?
It's getting there. I did something and lost it, so. Alright, once you have correctly solved number 5, you guys can, I'm getting it on there, you can get on and do your homework.